up, guys? Welcome back to Jam Movies. Today we get to talk about an absolute awesome sci-fi flick, Dune. Coming at you right now. So, let's dive right into the budget like a worm dives into the sand. This movie came out during COVID, and I remember that too. I think where we had to be vaccinated to go see it in theaters, but I ended up catching it on Crave or HBO Max, I was impressed when I first watched it. But the budget, what did the
165 million, I believe. They grossed at the end of it around 407 million. I think closer to 408, but. It was during COVID, and
that's impressive.
How much did they make for streaming? How many views did they get?
I know I think it was the first night, if I'm not mistaken, it was like over 1 million views, and then by the end of the week, I'm pretty sure it was like 6 million views.
That's not bad.
Oh yeah, they were.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an amazing movie. I mean, obviously, word of mouth spreads, reviewers, and everything else. It's just it's a really good movie all around, right? So it's not something you want to miss.
The budget went with the actors that they had well spent. Let's get into the actors and the director. Paul Atreides was played really well by Timothy Chalamet. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but he did great in it. So what other movies has he done?
So actually, just recently I watched Wonka with my kids. It was really good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, and he was a good Wonka. Obviously not as good as the original, but I mean you really can't compare the two different style of movies, you can say, right? But no, he did a really good job. Stellan Skarsgård, I thought, did an amazing job as the Baron. We gave you that creepy vibe. You weren't too sure about this guy, kind of thing. You could sense the evil.
Yeah, I agree.
And if we're getting down to the kind of that side characters, Josh Brolin, awesome job. Even Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of him. Like, yeah, he's a good Aquaman because he can crack jokes and stuff like that. But no, he actually did really well in this role.
Yeah, I agree. He played it really serious. He had played a really good role. Had nice jokes. I mean, there wasn't really any comedy to it, but he did really well. I would say out of every Jason Momoa movie he's done, that would be one of my top favorite ones. I don't like really
the Aquaman series.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of the name. I always forget. Yeah. But so the length of the movie was about 2 hours 35 minutes, and what would you say?
But it didn't feel that way, though.
No,
not at all. Because I mean, again, there wasn't a lot of action in the movie, right? Because this was more so setting up for what's to come, right? So we're getting that backstory of the different factions and the characters, kind of trying to figuring out what Paul Atreides is and what he's destined for.
Yeah.
We're not. It leaves little pieces like cookie crumb trails everywhere if it sets it up for the sequel, and then now obviously we've watched the second one. Now we're getting ready for the third. Right?
Yeah. So like for the time frame, I say you'd want to be awake. It's not one of those. It doesn't really have too much action. It's not there's not too much comedy or like vulgar words or anything. And some of that makes you stay more awake, more in tune with the movie. So I'd suggest being awake and enjoying this so you can fully enjoy this movie. But I mean, it was nominated for 300 awards.
That's crazy.
Yeah, won 176, and 8 of them were Oscars. So like, it's a great movie. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry we're spoiling it, but definitely highly recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. Director, I mean, the guy does amazing work. How do you pronounce his name again?
Denis Villeneuve or something.
Denis Villeneuve, I think. Or
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. Anyways,
we can't pronounce it.
Yeah, great director. Yeah.
We have some of his movies up here.
Yeah, though anything that I own that he's done, I mean, really good work. But he did amazing work with this movie with the script. I mean, he did what the original couldn't do, mind you. Different times, different technology, bigger budget, right? But no, he did a really good job, right down to Hans Zimmer for the music. Smart, obviously. You can't go wrong with Zimmer.
Yeah.
Dark Knight series is one of my favorite scores of all time. And again, Hans Zimmer hits it home with this one.
Yeah, David Lynch directed the last one, and he had no issues with this one being released, but because of all the hardship and not being able to have the last final say for the final cut, he has just bad memories of it. But he still liked. I do believe he still likes this new movie. And going back to the directors.
Well, what's not to like? Yeah. Really, I mean, if we're talking about the old one, that wasn't the only issue. You can obviously tell there was. It was made before its time.
Yeah.
The technology wasn't there yet. You can see it, and now we have it. We have this beautiful, stunning picture, Dune in all its glory, the way we were supposed to see it, right?
Yeah, so talking about the technology and all the glory, COVID, we didn't get to see it in the theater, so we didn't get to see it in IMAX.
No, I would have loved to see it in IMAX, and I was a little disappointed when we bought the 4K, and it was in normal widescreen aspect ratio, but if it ever does come back to theaters, I definitely want to check it out on IMAX. I think the second one we went and seen in 4DX, right? Which bigger screen, more excitement. But again, too, with the second one, you ended up with normal aspect ratio. There was no IMAX. Which, should have been, but I mean, but the sound quality on the 4K, I will add. For both Dune movies, but I recently watched the first one. The Atmos track is reference quality, absolutely phenomenal. It'll blow your socks off. They did a great job, especially with separating what the different factions looked like with outfits, with makeup, with everything. I mean, just right down to special effects, set design, and the costumes. It all just meshed in together. We got this completely different world. With completely different set of rules, and it was just everything was breathtaking.
So let's get into the location. The first one was Wadi Rum, one of the most breathtaking deserts. It has yellow, black, red sand, mountains, dunes. The other location for actually Arrakis was in Jordan. But let's get into the outfits. What do you have to say about the outfits and the whole atmosphere of the movie?
Well, the whole atmosphere of the movie was great. I mean, the costumes definitely helped that atmosphere out. Different costumes, different factions made everybody kind of like separate, and you knew who was who. It was all around. I mean, let's face it was an all around fantastic movie, start to finish. Right down to costume, set design, you name it, it was done properly.
So, I'd say the same thing. I like the suits that they had. The thing I found a little odd, it was the Arrakis was such an, like a desert, was blinding, but they never wore goggles to blind their eyes out in Arrakis, but, I mean, maybe that was a little mishap that the director forgot that maybe they should have included, because Arrakis, it was so hot that they needed suits. Why wouldn't they cover something so sensitive as your eyes?
Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe because it's in this different world, they have special eyes. Who knows, right? You never really know. They don't really say. But no, I never really thought about that. That's a good point.
What do you think about the ending?
I mean, it leaves you wanting more, and that's what we ended up getting, right? But now again, not to get into the second one, but now I want even more.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was good to set up for the part two. It was for like it being a part one. It ended well.
Yeah.
It led you wanting more.
Yeah, it was a slow burner, and it started to pick up right at the end, and it just left you there. You're just like, I need more.
Yeah, it literally left me dangling for years.
Yeah. But. Let's get into the Jammeter.
Yes.
What would you rate this movie?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with a 95% of the Jammeter.
95.
You can't say it's a perfect film, like a complete perfect film, but near perfect, and that's why I give it 95. There really isn't too much that I can complain about it, except for the maybe the pacing, but again, too, that was needed for the setup for the whole general grand scheme of things, right? What would you give it on the Jammeter?
I would give it probably 95 as well. I haven't read the book saga, so I can't say too much. I watched the original. I would say the first one, being slow as it is, I still enjoyed it better than the original. And it set up the second one for us to be more engaged in it. Now the second one set us to be even more engaged with the third. So I think they did amazing with the movies. So that's why I would rate it the same as you, a 95. That jar is pretty full. But they did amazing work. I have really nothing bad to say. Just the eyes. Why didn't they cover them?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to look into that some more with the eyes, definitely. But hey, if you guys like this video, always hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for jamming out with us.